Nigerians are groaning. They are angry that Tinubu can be so insensitive to increase the cost of electricity, increase electricity tariffs, not minding the hardship that Nigerians are going through. And they are voicing out their anger and their sentiments. Because whether you like it or not, the buck stops at the desk of the president, who happens to be Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many people are saying that, oh, it is the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission that carried out the increase. Let's not forget that this kind of increase cannot happen without the say-so of Tinubu. So it is Tinubu that we know that is responsible for this increase in electricity tariff and further compounding the hardship that Nigerians are going through. What are Nigerians saying? Let's take a read. Shehu Sani says increasing electricity tariffs by 300% will finally electrocute human lives and businesses in Nigeria. Now, Shehu Sani is saying it's 300%, but if you take into consideration the fact that the increase went from 66 naira per kilowatt hour to 225 naira per kilowatt hour, that is actually an increase of over 350%. And yes, this will surely electrocute human lives and businesses in Nigeria. Something that Tinubu should be concerned with, but apparently he is not concerned with. Those of you supporting Tinubu in this, perhaps you are getting your money from somewhere that we cannot explain, that you are using to fund this kind of lifestyle. We need to create a fresh political party right now, so that we can kick these low-cost leaders out in 2027. And even right now, so that we can force the National Assembly to pass this free food and social welfare bill into law, so that Nigerians who cannot afford to eat can have food, free food, at least 1 meal a day, every day for the rest of their lives, until the federal government takes them out and gives them work to do. This is what we need to do. Let's read on. Novi Everest says, your FG, not Tinubu, has increased the electricity tariff. You have not said anything about how it will affect the cost of goods. In 3 months, you will shout that businesses or business owners are wicked. Lessons. Now, Novi Everest, you must understand that Tinubu is the head of the federal government. So if there is electricity tariff increase, it is not just the federal government, it is Tinubu. The buck stops at the table of Tinubu. So the blame is for Tinubu to bear. If he cares about the welfare and the ease of life of Nigerians, there's something Tinubu can do. He can instruct the NERC to review or reverse this increase in tariffs in electricity. He can do that. So let's not say that it's the federal government and it's not Tinubu. It is Tinubu. Tinubu is responsible. Okpeoluwa says it like this. People are really angry about the increase in electricity tariffs, and they have every right to be angry. We have seen swift action on the removal of subsidies, but there was no swift action on minimum wage. Where was the swift action on disbursement of MSME funds? Where was the swift action on student loan? The government has consistently assumed a lackadaisical posture towards pro-masses policies. It must change. I cannot agree more with Okpeoluwa. What the federal government under Tinubu is doing is increasing the cost of everything, weakening the value of the Naira. And then the only one thing that would have been done to make Nigerians able to bear this increase, the government of Tinubu is not doing it. Increase the price of electricity all you want, but also you must increase the revenue, the salaries, the wages of people so that they can afford it. Increase in cost of services, it's not a problem so long as people can afford it. But right now, Tinubu is increasing electricity, devaluing the Naira, increasing the cost of Naira, increasing the cost of food, increasing the cost of housing, school fees are on the increase. Everything is on the increase except salaries. And let me even use this opportunity to point out, tell me, What new businesses has Tinubu created? They removed fuel subsidy fraudulently because there was no fuel subsidy in the first place. And what Tinubu could have done was simply to remove the corruption so that Nigerians can enjoy petrol at the old prices. But rather, he chose to dance to the tune of the IMF and the World Bank so that Nigerians can continue to suffer for the IMF and the World Bank and all their northern global north allies to benefit. That's all. What new businesses has Tinubu's administration created? Because when you create new businesses, you create new wealth, then you create new job, you increase wages, then people can afford these increments in the cost of living. But with Tinubu, reverse is the case. The wages and people's ability to earn is reduced. People are losing their jobs because businesses are closing down. They cannot keep up, they cannot cope. But rather, Tinubu is increasing the cost of living. So I agree and put my thoughts very strongly behind Omoyele. People are angry. People are really angry. Max Vesha. People can't cook in bulk anymore because there is no electricity to power freezers. Businesses are going down because of lack of electricity and high cost of running on generator. Yet, the federal government is increasing the tariff for unavailable electricity to make it even less affordable. Come on. We must put emphasis on that less unavailable electricity. Because you see, they said that the increase will only take effect for Band A, which is people who receive electricity supply for 20 hours and above every day. Tell me, do you get electricity for 20 hours and above anywhere in Nigeria today? If you do, please do let me know. Let's even do a poll and see the number of Nigerians that get electricity for above 20 hours a day. That's almost uninterruptible power supply, which in my opinion is not available anywhere in Nigeria. If it is available in your place, do let us know so that we can see whether we are on our own or whether we are in a place that is not part of Nigeria. Unavailable electricity. Unavailable electricity. Mr. L. Bunga puts it this way, say fuel subsidy is gone without any serious effort to provide solution apart from rice distribution, which has killed many people. As a result of stampede, we didn't add that. Electricity tariff hiked and with its subsidy about to be removed on a gradual basis, if not immediately. Whatever the poor seem to enjoy initially is gradually becoming history now. People of Nigeria, all these statements and reactions of people to the hike in electricity, they are very, very correct. We need to do something. We need at this time to create a fresh political party so that we can retire these low-cost leaders that are so committed. They are hell-bent on consuming Nigeria's resources for their own benefit, selfish interests alone. We must retire them, and the only way to do that is to create a fresh political party. And I'm inviting you, it is not so hard if all of us will contribute to it. And I want to use this opportunity, the energies we put into watching football, watching movie, listening to music, doing recreation, drinking and all that. Let's take half of that energy and put it into this effort to create a fresh political party in Nigeria so that we can create a party with clear ideological values, clear-cut, well-written or clearly written ideologies. Things that will open up the space for well-meaning Nigerians to come up. And then from there, we go on to force the National Assembly to pass the Free Food and Social Welfare Law bill into law. Once we do this, the average Nigerians will be able to afford more things and we'll see a gradual increase in ability to purchase because that's what is lacking. And if the National Assembly refuses, we will use the party that we have formed to push them out in 2027. It is simple. It is not hard. Let nobody tell you that it is hard. It is very, very simple. All we just need to do at this point is for you and I to stop paying all the tithes and the offerings that we pay to church, all the contributions and donations that we pay to mosque, we must stop it now and pay them into the accounts in the description below, the Royal Purple Bee Foundation. That's what we need to do, so that we can use that money to push and drive these solutions that we're talking about, to make sure that the free food stamp and social welfare law is passed, so that every Nigerian that cannot afford to feed themselves can get at least one free meal every day. And so that if the National Assembly refuses, the new political party that we create can be used to retire all these low-cost leaders. It is something that we must do. Orekelewa puts it this way: electricity tariff subsidies in a country where 90 million plus Nigerians are not connected to the grid are regressive. All policy options are on the table, but let's at least talk through. I'll sit back and watch the middle class tangle themselves in knots. This is very, very salient. This increase in electricity tariff for Band A is solely targeting the middle class. We already have a lower class of over 150 million Nigerians that are living in multi-dimensional poverty. This increase in the electricity tariffs for Band A is targeting the middle class, and it will appear as though the Tinubu administration is hell-bent, intent on wiping out the middle class, or making the middle class to become poor as well. That's what this does, and we must resist it. Part of the resistance that we can put up to this electricity tariff. Some people can protest too if you want to protest, but protesting alone, they know how to disrupt our protest. Complaining alone, they know that when we complain, 2 or 3 days after, they will give us another topic to complain about. The only thing we need to do right now is to form a fresh political party with clearly written ideologies. Ideologies that will open up the space for well-meaning Nigerians to get into positions of power. And then we must also now force the National Assembly to pass the free food stamp and social welfare law that will guarantee at least one free meal every day for multi-dimensionally poor Nigerians. Once we do this, we will open up the space and genuine leaders will come in. We will free ourselves from the grips of the IMF and World Bank that force leaders that dance to their tune on us, not minding that Nigerians are suffering from the policies of these leaders. The only way to free ourselves is to do this, and we require your support. It is not a hard thing to do to create a fresh political party with clearly written ideologies. All we need is you in your village, in your town, in your state, in your local government to click the link in the description and join, because once we know your location, we will use that to form the basic structure, the core structure upon which we'll build the reach of this political party, and then we can now use that to force the National Assembly to pass this bill for free food, for social welfare support, for extremely poor Nigerians into law. And if they refuse, we'll use that same structure to do what? To retire them come 2027. This is a task that must be done. This is a task that must be done. The diesel and petrol you use to power generators, is it not higher than the electricity tariff? This government doesn't know how to do proper PR and instead focus on propaganda. Electricity tariffs were meant to rise long ago. I don't know why it was postponed. This is not true at all. If you consider the cost now of electricity, you will find out that it is almost equal to generator. Right now, I spend 40,000 Naira every month on electricity, and I have solar, 5 kVA inverter with 16,300 watts panels. That costs about 3 million, 3.5 million to execute. How many Nigerians can afford that? Now, with my investment in solar, I still spend 40,000 Naira every month on electricity because I use AC. I guess I'm going to have to cut down on my AC right now. But if you look at the tariffs from 66 Naira per kilowatt hour to 225 Naira per kilowatt hour, it means that from 40,000, I am going to 266,000 Naira a month. 266,000 Naira a month. I don't spend up to 266,000 Naira a month on fuel and generator. I don't. So this increase in electricity tariff makes it even more expensive to depend on NEPA than to use diesel and generator. That is the truth. So this argument simply does not hold water. Aginas puts it this way, say people are already losing jobs due to power outages and they are talking about increasing electricity tariff. Ah, God. People will soon leave this country and leave politicians in their country alone. Aginas, leaving this country is not a solution. It is this mindset that people will leave this country or people should leave this country for these politicians that is making them continue to have their way and continue to make things worse and worse for Nigerians. We must stay and resist them. And there's a way to do that. The way to do that is for us to sit down and form a fresh political party with clearly written ideologies that will open up the space for new leaders to emerge. Leaders that are patriots, leaders that mean well. And once we create this political party, we can now force the National Assembly to pass the Free Food and Social Welfare Bill into law. Once we do that, we can now guarantee that it is government that is responsible for the welfare of citizens, providing at least one free meal every day for Nigerians. One free meal every day for Nigerians that are not able to afford it. Once we do this, the people will now be able to think with their head. Because right now, poverty and hunger is being weaponized against them, so they don't know how to think right or choose right when it comes to election period. And this is the only reasons why these leaders are doing and weaponizing this poverty and hunger against them. So if we're able to pass that bill into law to guarantee free food for the poorest of the poor Nigerians, all of them, not some against some, that will result in the stampedes that we see when the federal government hypocritically distributes palliatives. Hypocritically, because when you have over 200 million Nigerians that are hungry and you are distributing palliative to less than 100,000, what do you expect to happen? There will be stampede. Meanwhile, as they do in America, Nigeria can afford to give free food to every poor Nigerian. Free food, at least 1 meal a day to every poor Nigerian. We can afford it. If you look at the details of the Free Food and Social Welfare Law, you will find out that it is not only possible to do, it is easy to do, and that it is one way for us to move Nigeria rapidly towards agricultural revolution and then subsequently towards rapid industrialization. It is very, very doable. Let's stop all this talk about Japa and let's stay and turn back and face these people. You know how the buffaloes react to lions. You can have a pride of 10 lions ravaging and disturbing a herd of over 1,000 buffaloes. And initially, they begin to run and run from the lions. But when they realize that they are in danger, they stop and they turn on the lions. And what do you find? The lions begin to run. Let's stop this jackpot, because when we focus our mind on jackpot, we are like the buffaloes running away, 1,000 of us, when it is only 10 lions that are pursuing us. But when we turn and face the lions will run. That is why it is important that we stop this whole idea of jackpot. Let's perish that jackpot thought and concentrate that energy to facing these corrupt and wicked politicians, these wicked leaders that we have. We can do it. We can do it by creating a fresh political party. You can support us in achieving this task. Click the link in the description to join. Click the link in the description to join. Let us create these fresh political parties, and then we will use it to force the National Assembly to sign the Free Food Stamp and Social Welfare Bill into law. And if they refuse, we will use the new political party to chase them out in 2027. We can do it. Don't let anybody tell you we cannot do it. We can do it. I am very, very sure of that. Bashir Ahmad, let's see what he's going to say. The electricity tariff increase is not for everybody. It is only for customers under the Band A classifications. They are customers enjoying 20 hours of power supply daily. I didn't expect anything much from Bashir Ahmad. He is a government spokesperson. So what do you expect from him? Now, you tell me which communities in Nigeria today, whether in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, or Kano, in the highbrow ridge areas, which communities, which houses experience 20 hours of electricity and above? That you are saying it's targeting, only people in Band A. Which of the people enjoy 20 hours? I live in the highbrow area. and I don't enjoy 20 hours of power supply. And mind you, Mr. Bashir Ahmad, this new increase from 66 naira per kilowatt hour to 225 naira per kilowatt hour means that people like me with all our solar and still spending over 40,000 naira a month on electricity, what it means is that now I'm going to be spending over 260,000 naira on electricity per month. That is what it means. That is already more expensive than running generator with fuel or diesel. So what is the benefit of having a government in place when the government is supposed to be taking care of your welfare and security? These are the questions that I have for you. I know you can't answer them. It's just for you to drive propaganda in support of the government of the day. But Nigerians know better. Nonga Gwani has it like this. And you think this won't affect businesses? I am on a band A and I had to stop business because of the previous increments. Now I am out of business and I am seeing another increment. What's the next thing to do? Sell off machines. Finally, I am out for good. Now you see that? That's an answer to Bashir Ahmad. Now you should even understand, when you say that this tariff increase in electricity is targeting only people on band A, what it simply means is that it is the middle class of people that are on band A. It is the middle class that are on band A. And then you have the high class or the upper class. Some of them, many of the high class people, these politicians, former governors, former senators, former this, former that, their houses are rigged. They have bypass on their houses. Many of them don't even have meters, so they don't pay. So the high class or the elite class of people are not going to suffer from this because initially they don't even pay. There are so many of them. Go to Asokoro, go to Garki, go to Maitama. They are there. Their houses, they are bypassed. They don't pay. They don't pay for electricity at all. Many of them like that. But now when you say that it affects or targets only band A, what it simply means effectively is that you are targeting the middle class. And eventually you are making the middle class to become poor people. So we're making the middle class to become poorer. I pity people who earn less than 1 million naira a month in Nigeria. That is what it means. It means that if you are earning less than 1 million naira a month in Nigeria, you are no longer in the middle class. You are coming to the poor class, the lower class. That is what it means. This electricity tariff with the tertiary institution school fees tariff, with the increase in pump price of petrol, the increase in the price of dollar, the increase in cost of food, the increase in cost of transportation, flight ticket, 200,000, 250,000 one way, all of this increase simply means that the middle class of Nigeria will be wiped out and to remain only lower class. So Nigerians, the ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. The ball is in your court.